Would this be a donation economy? We're going into crazy stuff out there. The idea of it, of course, being that you do stuff. Do stuff. That's a descriptive term. You do stuff in a donation economy, and people just hear about it. And if you've done something useful, people donate stuff, money generally, to you. That'd be interesting. And the person who organizes an effective evacuation strategy, would naturally, other people would hear about them, and that person or that entity, right, it doesn't have to be an individual person, would get money just from people just donating. Just saying, wow, that was useful. Here's some cash. And if we can learn to rely on that, if we can, because it's hard to rely on each other with this thing, but if you could, then, you could fund things exactly as they're needed. Someone's doing something useless, doesn't get paid for right now because we pay our taxes into the government, and the government spends it how it wants, and it buys a lot of useless stuff in the meantime. Pork barrel and all that. Which, if you don't know that term, pork barrel is when, a congressman gets something passed that's really just for his own hometown or whatever, and it's not really good for the country at large. Like the bridge to nowhere. It's great. This $1 million bridge, or however much it cost, in Alaska to go to this island with 50 people on it. And the people on the island have boats. They're fine. But we had to build this $1 million bridge, however much it costs. In a donation economy, you wouldn't have that because people would wow, this is a pointless bridge. I'm not going to donate my money to that. But it's so interdependent, is the thing. It started to say, okay, I'm going to act like a donation economy. And then, wait for someone to donate to me. Oh, guess I need a real job in the meantime. But it would be an interesting society, wouldn't it? It would be a little more efficient. The hurricane comes, and somebody plans this, and somebody plans that. People step up to the plate on these things. People are all involved in various levels of planning, all depending on what you're capable of doing. Do each bit as you can do it and all that. And people could possibly deal with emergencies like, hurricanes and terrorist attacks and one nice thing about an adhocracy, there's no one to assassinate. There's no leader to take down and suddenly, we don't have a leader anymore, What are we going to do? There's not even a Congress to blow up, if somebody tried to do that, which would be very horrible. But you'd have to blow up the whole country in order to get rid of the governing system in an adhocracy or a holacracy. But what mechanisms would start to work? Well, what mechanisms can it work in Enation? What sorts of things can we decide? The 3 or 4 of us that are around right now. And maybe there's more of you out there lurking. Please leave a comment if you are. Please leave a... Wait, now I need a password. I gotta do this Perry style. Okay, fine, whatever. The password is V8. It's vegetable juice. It's very nice. No, I was not paid to sponsor them. What can we do? What can we decide on within Enation? I guess we're already starting to decide, or have decided, that the current democratic systems are flawed. Maybe what we should do is just have this list of things the Enation believes in, which is almost like laws that we've passed, except we're not really enforcing our laws, are we? But it's things we believe in, right? So you could post up the current democratic systems are flawed, and then maybe you could have a whole essay or just link to these videos about why we think they're flawed. And then if somebody objects, if somebody says otherwise, then that wouldn't be an official policy anymore until we talk about it and we decide that there's a consensus one way or the other. And then we're starting to be an adhocracy, aren't we? And we could have a whole list of policies, from broad things like the nature of democratic systems, to specific things, like that forced amalgamation thing we were talking about earlier. Just don't know what that is. Or, even just tiny little, in my town they're building this road, and I don't like it, or something like that. And if we could come to an agreement on that, then we could put that up on the list. And eventually people will build on that. And eventually we start snowballing. And eventually I stop talking. But I really can't tell you when. No, okay, I'll stop talking now. Thanks for watching. See you later.